Hello, my name is Diego Martinez Torres, and this is my Community's Beautiful Project presentation. I'm going to start off by the individual level, and I'm going to talk about how rewarding and how I'm carrying a family tradition by having more plants and just having horticulture more present in my immediate environment. So first off, I'm using plants as kind of like a reset to my reward system level in my head. Thanks to social media and the new age of technology, but I feel like my attention span is just completely fried, and just having plans that requires me to look after like a living being that is sharing the same environment as me. We sit in the same room for hours every single day. So I feel like there's this sort of bond, and it's really meaningful for me. It's watching them. You're watching plants grow, and I get really excited when you have a sick plant and it gets better. And that's super cool. And as well, if you have a plant that is like sprouting, getting new leaves, and or being able to propagate them, that's super rewarding. So and as well, this newfound passion of mine and appreciation for nature and horticulture. It's also carrying a family tradition. My grandma back in Mexico was known to be kind of like the plant lady. She was known to have like a roof full of flowers and plants and like all sorts of like fruits and vegetables that she would grow. So that was something that I take a lot of pride on and something that I aspire to. And following on the visual level, I think it's very important to talk about um, how also plants can also have a personal connection. If not all my plants, most of them, they have some sort of like history or story behind them. That, for example, that succulent on the left was given to me during my summer internship. Like my that those pothos cuttings on the bottom, they were given to me from a like a pothos plant that I later propagated for my girlfriend. And I don't know. I have many examples. I have a pink lady that I got from at Home Depot with my sister, and it was rotten. It was like overwatered, and kind of we were able to fix it, and it's doing so much better now. And I just like the ability that plants and just like things that are meaningful in this manner are able to kind of facilitate connections and create deeper bonds. And then following on to my home and neighborhood. It is something that really struck to me because I would run around my girlfriend's neighborhood or even in Athens, and there's just like little green places that I would never think about too hard or at all, if I'm being completely honest. And I've learned to appreciate them. Like of course they're a part of our environment, and I that is something that I just took for granted. So, for example, this house, I ran by it many times and I never bothered to look like over the fence. And after taking this class, I was like, oh man, like imagine how much cool stuff you can grow in all those raised beds. And this follows on to just around the city, not only my girlfriend's neighborhood. I was able to appreciate how communities like this is like right outside the belt line. There's like an apartment complex on the left, and they have all this raised beds, raised boxes where they plant fruits and vegetables, and they're all labeled. And what I assume anyone in the community or in the neighborhood even can take care of the plants or take one, you leave one. I guess I don't really know how it works, but I think it's really cool that there's places like this that exist and that sadly not many people probably notice them like me before taking this class. Following on to schools and community. This is my reflection, mainly on my botanical garden service learning and my volunteering. I I would use the trails around the garden quite often. I enjoyed the landscaping and the care that went to taking care of that place. But I never I would I had no idea the greenhouse existed, and of course I had no idea about the plant sale. And I feel like activities like that are really strong social bonds in our community. I think they not only entices you to meet people around you that have a similar set of values, but also it's a very healthy thing to do to native plants. They can only do good in an environment. So that's something that I learned to value a lot. and of course it's a super low barrier. You didn't have to buy anything. So I met a lot of people that were just curious and just wanted to learn about plants, which made me wish that I knew a bit more. Because some people would have very technical questions. I was like, man, I wish I could answer your question, but sadly I'm gonna have to defer you to someone that knows what they're talking about. But and this is more in the community side, not necessarily in school. And this is something that me and my girlfriend talk about a lot, because this house on the left, on the right, is it's owned by this elderly couple, and they plant all sorts of fruits and veggies. And whenever they have surplus of anything, um, they just set up like a little box, like right around like the front yard, and people can just like take whatever they want or need. And I met some of the neighbors, and this kind of works like a social glue that I feel like it's not as common anymore, because again, because of social media and technology and all that, we've just grown distant from our real communities. And I think having these places more accessible to anyone and in more communities could make definitely an impact. I feel like you're less likely to do bad when you know who you're affecting, and as well, not ignoring the obvious benefit of fresh vegetables and fruits for a community. Not eating processed food is always going to be a pro. And following on to workplace and profession, I I was pretty agnostic to nurseries and the landscaping business and just like nature retail stores. But after taking this class, I am amazed by just like the well, like the business model it is. Like I read a story about the how Home Depot sends people to like some festival in France to figure out what are gonna be like the most trendy like flowers of the year, and how's that's a job, and that is something like really really cool to me. Of course they measure like the colors and like just the vibe that plants have, and that is um it's really cool that people take they take effort and time into things like this, and it's not just there's people that are looking beyond to have a house that is just gray and concrete. um and this is again touching on just my business insight on this. How I would ever notice that Publix had Monsteras with the I forgot what the white spot is called, and fenestration, which was really really expensive still. I was talking to my girlfriend's roommate about it, which she's really into plants, and she was telling me that those Monsteras, like a single cutting, not even like a mature cutting or anything, it was worth like $300 during like COVID, which is crazy. But that just tells, I mean, that just like opened the eyes to me. It's like, well, this is like a whole like industry, and like anyone could have done it. Like I saw people and like on Etsy selling that, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Um, and lastly, we're gonna move on to the environmental level and how plants are. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's nature, infrastructure of the planet, and all these pictures we're taking at the botanical gardens, because I felt like that was kind of like the hub of the focus of my studies. Um, they're all taken throughout the time. They were not necessarily taken during the semester. I think it was taken during spring last year, and this tortoise was taken last summer, I believe. But anyway, I mean that just shows you that this place is. I mean, the events that the garden carries are amazing. I never saw that many people interested in like insect. I volunteer at Insectivore, and I just it's something that it's really really healthy to be passionate about other other living beings, and how teaching people about even like things that you're not like normally you wouldn't think about every single day, it's can make a big impact. And anyway, so to close this, just this project showed me that the plants are more than decoration. They're more than just living beings that we coexist with. But they contribute culturally to houses, to individuals, to neighborhoods, education, just like even the economy as a whole. So I think to close this and